Alrighty, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Distance Education and Instructional Technology Department Makeover Flex Day session. Thank you all for joining us this morning. We do have a few housekeeping reminders. Please utilize our chat function for any questions that you have. We do have some time set aside at the end for Q&A as well. Please also make sure that your attendance is being tracked via our participant records. So please make sure that your name is listed accurately. And with all of that being said, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Jody Steely.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Oh, that's cool. Thank you. It's nice to see you all. Hi, Bill. I see you made it in. Good job. Are you guys all feeling a little more comfortable than last year at this time? Do you notice an improvement? I hope so. So I'm Jody Steely. I'm the Director of Distance Education and Instructional Technology. We have a new division of our department, the Center for Innovative Learning and Teaching. That's not a I did not misspeak there. We intentionally called it Learning and Teaching for obvious purposes, I hope. So with me this morning is Sue Yang, our instructional designer. Sue, you want to say hi to everyone?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the semester here.
Yeah, I think it would be safe to say that most people have not met Sue Yang. She started with us last year and has not had an opportunity to meet people in person. I think we have a lot of faculty like that. Maybe the new ones will be able to meet some people between now and next year, so we won't be saying that when we introduce them. I hope that's true. So today I want to thank you for coming to this session. We're introducing our department almost like it's brand new again, which also seems fitting for this new normal. So what has happened in the last year is that we have been listening. We've been listening to students, we've been listening to faculty, staff, administration, anybody that was willing to give us feedback. We took that into consideration and realized that we needed to do a makeover of our two virtual hubs that are now launched live. And that feedback for students, we've been holding live hours at the beginning of every semester, and some sprinkled throughout the regular semester as well. But we have literally logged hundreds of student questions. And some of those questions we had a difficult time answering and locating the answer for those questions. So the hub is a representative of the feedback and the inquiries that we got from students. You may remember, some of you may have gone to the session, I think it was last year at this time, where we introduced the hub again as a new concept, as a as sort of a wrap around of a virtual campus. Because we know that in order for you to be successful and for students to be successful, there's a lot that goes into the ecosystem of both learning and teaching. So our student hub, you'll notice, is not only different in the way it looks, but it is different in the type of resources that you'll find in there. So we call both of these hubs virtual hubs. The Virtual Hub for Students, or VHS. Does anybody recognize that acronym? I think you have to be in my generation to remember what that is, but the old VHS tapes. That's our little nerdy humor for our Virtual Hub for Students. And then our Virtual Hub for Faculty, VHF. Does anybody recognize that acronym? Okay, so TV reference there. Again, we like to have fun in our department. And so we, when we came up with the name of those two hubs, we did so carefully. When we renamed, or I'm sorry, we created the offshoot, the Center for Innovative Learning and Teaching, we did that with a lot of brainstorming of who are we, who do we serve, what do we do, what's expected of us, and how do we deliver those things. And so we had a vote on the names too over the summer, and that's the one that stuck. We also have a new, it's not a logo, it's an icon. It's a new icon for the virtual center. So I'm really glad that you're here today because there have been a lot of changes, and these changes will affect how you start your semester. We've developed a lot of resources in the past that have been very helpful. Those include Kung Fu Canvas, Quest for Success, Online Readiness. There's been also the FCC's Student Success Center. There's been Starfish that's developed. And so these things, you'll need to reference the changes for those in your classes. So I have a breakdown of those changes, and I'll be sharing this out, and they will also be published in the virtual hubs. Can you all see this chart? Sue, can you see the chart? So I can see your face.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can see it.
Excellent. Okay, let me try to make it bigger too. So this chart here, how many of you saw this by chance in your division meetings? You know, you can do like a little, your emojis.
I don't remember seeing it, not in mine. Or wait, my division meeting, yes.
Yes, okay. Yeah, I shared this with all the deans because we need help getting the word out because there are, as I said, so many changes. Oh, it's over there. That's okay. There are so many changes with the resources that we have. So I'm sorry, are you seeing the chart still here? I gotta make sure I have the right screen lit up.
Yes.
Or
Yeah, we see it.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Good feedback. So here I've put together a list of the things that have changed. This is a quick reference guide for you. Some of you may not even recognize the items that are here, so you don't have to change. That's, you know, an advantage. So this is Kung Fu Canvas we had a couple of years ago, but I've heard people reference it. This was just a basic introduction to Canvas and the elements of Canvas. That has been replaced by Growing with Canvas, which is still available for faculty as a reference to see how certain tools work in Canvas itself. The Student Support Hub, which had a run for about 18 months or so, that has been changed to the Virtual Hub for students. And it does have new content, a new organization. And this is available even when you're offline. I mean, like not logged into the portal. So we really listen to students who are mostly mobile, especially when they're trying to find resources. So this site, as you'll see, when I show it to you later in this presentation, is fully mobile. It will shrink to the screen that it's being used on. And it is not only available when you're not logged into the portal, but it's in every single class in the course navigation. You can hide that if you want to, but it is on by default. And then in every class that you're in, or your students are in, it's over on the global navigation too. And we'll show you where those are at. So we listen to students who may not be able to log in to the portal, that they still have access to this. If they are out and on the run and they need quick access, they don't have to go through all of that login. Starfish is something we've been hearing a lot about. It may be a part of our regular language, but for most students, they didn't know what that is. And so when you go into your courses, you'll see that it's been changed to academic counseling. They felt that that was more recognizable for students. And so that is still Starfish. And when you click on it as a student, you go right into Starfish to make appointments with a counselor or to access your account. Quest for Success has gone through a few iterations as well. Those were modules of how to be a successful online student. There was online readiness to it. These were connected where students could self-assess where they might need to make some changes in their approach to online instruction. That is still a valuable resource, and you'll see that that is also in the Student Hub. Passport to Canvas, Passport to Canvas was also something that students found very helpful for getting to learn about Canvas and really more about the tools that are in Canvas for them. That is still available. Inside the hub, you'll see that there's a couple of modules for how to learn about Canvas, and we made that as a resource that they could return to. So they don't have to go in order as they are exploring the elements of Canvas. They can use that as an ongoing resource as well. Now they can still earn a certificate. A certificate has replaced the badging that we had in there. So if they complete all the modules in whatever order, they can get a certificate to print or to save electronically. So if you want to encourage your students still to learn how to be a successful online student and to learn about Canvas, it's all in one place. We're super proud of that because we found that we were sending students to all different places to get pieces of information for that ecosystem for their success. So we really made a concerted effort to put them all in one place. We also work collaboratively with many groups on campus, including tutoring, counseling, financial aid, admissions and records, almost the whole gamut actually. And we asked them what would be most helpful, what would be the greatest resource for students in your real estate in the hub. And so you'll see that they gave us feedback in that area. So the other things here, who knew it? I don't know if everybody recognizes that. Who knew it also was known as Atomic Learning, and now it's known as InfoBase. They've had a little bit of identity crisis in the last 4 years. The content is still incredibly rich. You can assign videos for lessons and things like Microsoft, Excel is a big one, how to gather reference resources for papers, anything that could help supplement and fuel a student to perform better and demonstrate the learning outcomes in assignments that you have. Some of you may have accessed the LinkedIn video tutorials and lessons, also formerly known as Linda, and some other of those video lessons. This is the only one that is for students. This is a paid for service that Fresno City has. We'd like to see it get used more, but as I told them, their identity crisis has made that a little bit difficult for us. So we'll be promoting InfoBase more as we go along. I hope that you have been paying attention to Zoom. That has changed because it's a pretty big change. If you have gone into Canvas, which I'm sure you have, you'll notice that the icon says Zoom. It is not Confer Zoom anymore. It's not Tech Connect Zoom. It's just Zoom. This change is relative to what's called an LTI, and we're going to do that session after this one, but it's an integration into Canvas. And what you have now, probably cheerfully, is that the browser version of Zoom and the Zoom that's in Canvas are the same. Imagine that. They're the same tool. So no longer do you have to concern yourself with, okay, can I do that in the browser? Does it translate over to my Canvas shell? No more. So when you configure your account, which you do need to configure your account if you're having difficulty getting access, it's very simple. It just asks you a few questions and then you're good to go. It is connected by your college email address. The great feature that we've already started to use is that you can schedule your Zoom sessions right in your class to where a student just has to click the button to join, and there they are. So no more of sharing passwords and all of that, all those steps that can cause someone to trip before they get into Zoom. So that one is, I think, will improve and reduce the level of frustration that we have heard in the last year. And then lastly, the FCC Success Center, that's where a lot of the tutoring was housed, tutoring schedule, things of that nature. In working with them, they have reduced their, the ETC pass tutoring, online tutoring. They had all of these different labels that students really weren't so keen to figure out. It was a little bit intimidating. Am I choosing the right tutoring service for me? And so they've condensed those all into one, because tutorial services is really all a student is concerned about. Can I get tutoring in math right now? And the answer is yes. So they don't really, it doesn't really matter to them where they're getting that tutoring, just that it is available. So that is a remarkable change as well. So I couldn't see all of your faces when I was going through that change sheet. But how are you feeling about those changes? A little emoji reaction would be great. Thumbs up, thumbs down if it's too confusing, too much. Okay, thumbs up, good. Thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Jody. That's a wonderful reorganization. I think that's going to be so helpful for us.
Thank you, Rio. Yeah, thank you.
Jody, on that Zoom part that you were talking about, is that email, the Zoom Pro? Do we have to update to get that going with the connection?
So Sue, can you speak about the Zoom change and how it's effective in Canvas?
Yes, so you don't have to do anything with your Zoom accounts. If you need to double check, I'm going to put the link in the chat, but with the migration, basically, the district is managing our accounts now instead of TechConnect. And so instead of going to ConferZoom, the CCCC ConferZoom.zoom.us, you can simply go to this new one, which is specific for our district, to check, to log in and also to access your Zoom Pro account. When you are accessing Zoom in Canvas by just clicking on the Zoom in the course menu, the first time that you do click that, it's going to ask you to authorize the connection between Canvas and your Zoom account. And then once you do that, your account will be set up as well too. You no longer have to actually request a Zoom Pro account or anything like that. If you have your FCC email and credentials ready set up, you automatically just have an account then. And so if you need to double check, you can just click on the website that I posted in the chat. And then one of the buttons is to sign in or configure your Zoom account. And so you can just check there then.
And there was a lot of discussion last semester about this change. And I do want to give thanks to the district for making this leap, because what happened is that TechConnect Zoom because of the influx of so many people using it last year, their storage to manage for all 115 colleges became really extraordinary. And so they were, and they have done this, was limit storage. And they were going to delete videos that was anything prior to last August. And that caused many of us to panic, really. But in avoiding that, the district did move to adopt the Zoom LTI and bring it under their management. So your videos are all still there, even the old ones. And then your new ones will be stored in your Zoom account as well. We are going to have a session or 2 or 3 or 5 on the new Zoom and the advanced features. It's really pretty cool, the things that they've developed. One of them is live transcription, just to get it out there as we're on this call now. But you can go down to the bottom of those icons and you can click live transcript. And when you do that, you'll see the words, you'll see the captions come on the screen as I'm speaking, as anyone is speaking. And it's really quite accurate depending on how clear you speak, right? Anything is dependent on that. Oh, it's inaccurate. I slur my words. I don't know why it's not picking that up. So it's only as accurate as we speak. But that feature is really quite amazing because not only can you see it across the screen, but you can adjust the size of the font. You can also view a full transcript off to the side to see the conversation as it's taking place. That's one of the really amazing features that I like because it enables me to, if I have to be in a quiet environment, I don't miss out on anything that's being presented in a Zoom session because I can just read it. I mean, think about how valuable that is for students who may be on a bus, may have children sleeping. It really is a part of universal design. But I won't go into all the advanced features right now. Please attend those sessions if you're interested and you want to take your Zoom up to the pro level. It's really quite exciting. All right. Did anybody have any questions right now? Feel free. We're here to help. You can just unmute yourself, or are there any common questions in the chat or Q&A?
Actually, Jody, this is Sean Boyd. I have a question for you.
Hey, Sean.
And also, I wanted to say, it is so nice to see Sue Yang here. I'm so glad that we stole her from Fresno State because I can't tell you how many times that she rescued me when I walked into what they used to call tilt over there. You know, kind of an interesting acronym, but really, with respect to, I did do the e-scholars online training way back in the fall of 2012 when it was first initiated, and but I learned more and more as I went along. Sue Yang, and of course, I wish we could steal Mary Bennett too. Okay, my question: will at some point the Center for Innovative Learning and Teaching that has just started be able to hire some helpers, some students part-time like they do at Fresno State, so that we as faculty can simply email or ship an electronic copy of a document and have them either create an online exam, put it into our course, or make our documents accessible as per the law, or will this continue to be an individual instructor workload issue?
So, you know, the word I picked up on there is continue. And I don't even know that word in my field. I don't know many things that remain stagnant or, you know, same as last year. It's, you know, it can drive you mad, but it also makes it a very interesting profession. So, yeah, we do have some plans for developing other resources. We did get funding for student-to-student help desk. I've been mining through, where do we send students when they have a question about anything, you know, about a pop-up blocker or how to use Microsoft, or how to find my classes. And they don't really have a place to go. And maybe you've experienced that when you've tried to direct them and send them somewhere, and you don't have a high degree of confidence that they're going to get what they need. So that particular area, student support, we really aren't doing a very good job there. And that means that they're coming to you guys. They're coming to you as not only discipline experts, course design experts, but also troubleshooting, right? So we hope that that will help you, inadvertently. We have in the past had a couple of students that helped out to help faculty. That need has obviously become greater. So we'll have to explore that, that as well. I would say in the specific questions that you have, Sean, as far as captioning, we now have Canvas Studio, which makes it so easy. Not the upload to YouTube and go through the whole edit of the transcript. It's so much easier now. So we have improved that process. It also is a good thing for you to do, because you're the one who knows in the captioning what should be emphasized, because it's your content, right? As far as the other kinds of documents, we are playing with something called Pope Tech. It's a web page crawler based on Wave, and we're looking at installing that into Canvas. So, lots of things that we're making some changes with to meet your needs and the needs of students.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, this is Amy. Nancy had typed a question in the chat, so I didn't know if you saw it, but she was wondering if Zoom attendance can be transferred to the grade book. And I was wondering if you could speak to that.
For noting attendance.
I believe so, yes. Like if however Zoom tracks it, can that be transferred to the grade book?
I imagine you're asking automatically.
Nancy,
I see your face, Nancy. Are you asking automatically?
Yes.
Sue, do you want to speak to that?
Yes, so it does not transfer automatically back into Canvas. They do have attendance reports that are available in Zoom, and that'll help you keep track of who's attended and who hasn't, and for how long, if they left early or whatnot. I'm going to have to double check though, because I believe the attendance report does come in an Excel spreadsheet of some sort. And so I don't know if that spreadsheet could be imported into attendance. So I'll double check on that though.
Yeah, it's a really good question. They would be noted in the transcript if they spoke. So if you kind of took roll and said, Nancy Mitchell here, the here would show up in there, or in the chat. You could have everybody say that they're here in the chat, and then go through and note who was there, right? Oh, Nancy, you like that one?
So many people though. I don't know.
Well, I guess it depends on how large your class is.
I have an idea.
But also, Jody, if you're signing, it wouldn't note in the transcript, right? So
yeah, that would be chat.
So ASL classes would, okay.
Yeah, right.
What I usually do is I create a quiz. Even if it's like here, I'll put the date on the quiz, and it could say yes or no. Yes, you could put here, they mark that, and they put no. Well, they're still there, but they're playing around, so I'll leave it as a 0. But anyhow, if you just do a 1 question thing with yes or no on that, and that'll take care of attendance on that. And when you download it onto an Excel sheet, you'll have the dates, but you have to go through and pick each date and put it on the Excel sheet. It works.
Tina, are you saying that? That's a really good suggestion. Are you saying that would be like a poll? you know that you would launch a poll, you're here, yes or no, or just yes?
On Canvas, I'll do a quiz and I will just put a one question thing, here or not here. And if they're there, gonna hit yes for number one. And if they put not here, they put number two. But if the ones that really aren't there, they're going to be the ones who don't answer.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Your peers are really just such a fantastic resource of trial and error, that they've already been a pioneer in some of these areas to share with each other. If you do have a chance to go to the panel this afternoon, there are six faculty that are going to be on that panel, but just behind the scenes, we had about 20 who wanted to be on that panel. And we're just so delighted that people want to talk about their course design and the lessons that they've learned in the last year. And I can say that seeing some of the courses that have been developed, I haven't seen them all, it is really, truly remarkable. So your peers, and I'm sure you're one of those too, can share with each other, you know, things that you've done that have made your course design and management more efficient. And I think that's something that can be a drain, is the consumption of time that online teaching can take. So we do have some really great ways to become efficient without sacrificing quality and instruction.
Well, thank you. I'll tell you what, those classes really did help. There were some instructors' Canvases that I was just, oh my God, blown away, that I still can't do. And I'm like, I got to learn from them.
And Tina, you're talking about the certification, right?
Yeah, for the DE.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was good stuff there.
Yeah, so the last part of that, the last module 3 and 4, part of that is peer review, just to give each other feedback, and looking at each other's courses and giving that feedback. It really is a positive experience that we've heard from faculty like Tina. So thank you for that comment. I think it's a good time then to go into the virtual hub for faculty. Sue, are you ready to take them on a tour?
I have a quick question, Jody. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Oh, that's okay.
Is that all right? Actually, it's 2 questions. So my first one, I apologize. I have 2 puppies and they were biting my toes, so I missed something that you said. You were talking about taking courses or being involved in things to where you can be as, you know, much of a Canvas or distance education pro as possible. I would definitely love that. So where can I go to access that or sign up for that?
We're actually going to show you, Sue will show you a page in the new hub where we will have the sessions, workshops, and also certification listed. And we're adding some new workshops this year too, based on feedback that we've received.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, and if you have some more feedback, if you have suggestions, Sue can show you in the hub where we have an area that you can leave some feedback and make some suggestions.
Okay, great.
Right.
All right. And okay, so question number 2. I cannot get my grade books to list a letter grade. It'll list their percentage at the end, but I am no longer seeing a letter grade and I don't know how to fix it. My classes before did that, but now all I'm seeing is a percentage, and I'm not quite sure how to fix that.
And you're not alone in that, Chelsea. The grade book can be a little bit tricky because you can do so much with it, right? You can make grades a certain weight, you can drop, you know, a grade, you can do all these kinds of things. So what we have for the first week, next week, we'll have live hours. They're already posted in the calendar, and Sue can show you where to find those as well. I'm sure she's taking notes of all these things I'm saying she's going to show. We have that, and then we're going to have a workshop just on the grade book. And when it comes to census, one of our new workshops is going to be calisthenics with Canvas and the grade book, and that will be for cleaning up your roster and certifying that
Okay.
roster. Because
Wonderful.
yeah, it is a little bit clunky at times. So we're here to
Okay.
help.
Okay.
In the later session today, to the building blocks, Christina McCullough Martinez, who is just an expert in the grade book, will just briefly be talking about what you can learn about and walk away with in that 1 hour workshop that we'll be offering later.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, we'll have time for more questions later too. Thank you for being so engaged and asking such terrific questions. Every question you've asked, there's been people who are like, yeah, that's a good question. I want to know that too. See, peer share. All right, Sue, take it away with the VHF.
Okay, so I'm just going to give you a quick walkthrough of the new virtual hub that we've created for faculty. We tried to simplify the design as well as come up with different categories to place all of the information so that it's easier to navigate. Similar to how, when you're creating and building your courses for students, we also thought about that when we were creating this for faculty and for students as well, to how can we make the navigation easier? How can we make it more engaging and useful for faculty? And so we came up with this. First of all, though, I do want to acknowledge and thank faculty member Carolyn DeAnda, who retired at the end of last semester already, but she was a great help in the design and in the foundation for this new virtual hub for faculty. So I do want to thank her too. I also just want to thank our entire DE team and all of our faculty consultants who reviewed materials, provided suggestions and feedbacks to just help us improve the virtual hub overall. As Jody had mentioned, this is a work in progress. It's always going to be continuously improving. And so if you do come across any information that's missing or incorrect or anything, just let us know and we'll make the necessary changes as well. So on the virtual hub, we've created different sections or categories to hopefully make it easier for you to navigate through the information that's provided. So on the homepage, you can click on any of the links or on the icons themselves to jump from one section to another. Once you're in a section, you can actually also use the course navigation links on the side. We've used the redirect tool to create these links so that you can just easily go from one section to the next. You can always just click on home. It'll just take you back to the home page here then. We have also included support. So we have access to 24/7 Canvas, phone and chat support for faculty. And that also includes students as well. Here we've listed those links and numbers, but in any of your Canvas courses, you can click on the help icon in the global navigation menu and be able to access this anytime. We also have our local Canvas support through the DE department. And we do ask that you file or submit a DE help ticket. That helps us to keep track of all of the requests and questions, and then also helps us to just disperse the tickets to whomever may be the best to respond then as well. And then here is the form that Jody was talking about. If you find something that's missing or anything, just feel free to click on this form and fill it out, and we'll get to it. So the first section here is just our support team, a little bit about us and who we are. We have faculty consultants from various departments and divisions that also help provide services for faculty members, whether for online teaching. They facilitate a lot of the DE certification courses and everything. And so, if you see your colleague up here, feel free to reach out to them as well too if you have any questions. At the bottom of each page, you'll also find navigation. So you'll always, have access to this jumping from different sections within the course here. Instructional resources. This is where we've placed the changes. So that chart that you all were looking for, if you come into the hub here and under instructional resources, you'll find the link for the chart here. We'll also add the, I don't know if we need to add the other ones or not, Jody, but if we do, we'll place them here too. This is the starting the semester information that you can reference and refer to make sure that your courses are ready to go for next week. Things and ideas that you can do prior to the first day, on the first day, helping to build that community, and also various other things that you can do here too. So you can click on each of these pages and then it'll take you to the instructions as well as additional information on that. At the end of the semester, we also have some guides and tutorials on how to submit your grades and how to export your attendance from Canvas if you're using Canvas for that. We also have additional resources about distance education that are available here, so you can feel free to look at these as well. If you come across something that's very useful or you would like to share, feel free to submit that too, and we'll be glad to add it in here. The next section here is about digital tools. So tools that we use here, either in the district or at Fresno City College here. And so we have these 6 currently. And so if you are using any of these, you can just feel free to click on the icon itself, and it'll take you to additional information as well as tutorials on how to use that specific tool. That we've created something similar as well in the Student Hub. And so if you are using any of these tools and your students have any questions, reference them to the Student Hub in the digital tools area as well, and have them review the tutorials and the guides that we've created for them then. This is what Jody was talking about earlier about the different workshops that we're planning to offer. If you are interested in registering for one, you can always click on the workshops and certifications. Right now we have 2 different sessions that are scheduled out later this month too. So information on Zoom, so build muscle with Zoom. We have this boot camp theme that we've created to design our sessions around. And so each one of them has a different title and theme. But this one is a little bit different than the one that was offered last fall. This one will include the May 2021 changes when we were migrated to the Zoom Pro accounts then. We also will have some courses on Canvas Studio, and so you can register for that here. Now, if these times and dates don't work for you, definitely reference the digital tools area and see if you can find information that'll help you there then. And if it doesn't, we'll be adding more to this throughout the semester. So just come back and check this off into. If you do need individual help, just feel free to submit a DE ticket and it'll come to me, and then we'll schedule a one-on-one as well. This is also where you'll find information on DE certification, any courses that or cohorts that will be starting up. So we have 2 that are currently available right now. The part 2, which is the 10-10-10 communication that matters. We have 2 start dates for that, the 30th, August 30th and September 13th. And so if you're interested in participating or going forward or beyond the introduction to course design, you can register for this one here too. Same with assessment and universal design and online teaching. two start dates for those for that course as well too, and just simply fill out the interest form. We also are providing simple syllabus workshops. And so if you are unfamiliar with using simple syllabus or how to get your information in there, we had a couple earlier this week and I believe last week. I can't remember exactly, but there is one right now. But I believe we will be adding more next week as well too. So just come back and check off in there. We have a what's new section, so just to kind of keep everybody updated on the things that are changing that are outside of our control. So we will post information, that's relevant locally as well too, whether it's the district or DE changes here at Fresno City. Down below, this is also where you'll find information from Canvas. So changes and updates from Canvas that affect us, you'll be able to, we'll post it here, but you also are able to follow them and their updates here. Same with the California Virtual Campus, Online Educational Initiative, CVC, OEI, any changes there. We also have a district Canvas task force. And so I've linked the meeting minutes here from last academic year, and will continue to do so here. And then also, if you're interested, we also have information about the Academic Senate and the DE Advisory Work Group. So anything that comes out from there, you'll be able to get that information here as well too. We have a virtual cafe, which is a discussion board. So we encourage you to, share any resources, share any ideas, teaching strategies that are effective and work for you with your colleagues. If you have a question that you want to ask your colleagues and try, and just get feedback from them, feel free to use the virtual cafe as well too. If you have any social media accounts, you can feel free to follow us. We do post, various updates on our social media accounts. And so feel free to click and follow us on any of these social media accounts. But that's just a quick overview of what the virtual hub is. I hope it is a lot easier to navigate through. There's going to be additional information that's always going to be added. And so, always make sure you come back and check this virtual hub button. And I'll turn it over to Jody again.
Thank you, Sue. Each time I see the hub, I'm just proud. I'm really just proud of all of you. Jason Thomas, Carolyn Deanda, you as well, Sue, the feedback from numerous people. It really has been a collective effort that I just, I'm glad that we have it now. COVID certainly expedited us to create something like this. So if there's some silver lining there, I'm sure we're all searching for those thin ones.
And yeah, Jody, before we continue, CJ, you had your hand raised. Do you want to unmute and ask a question? Or and you're muted right now, so. Oh, CJ, you're muted too.
No, I asked a really good question. It's just I was on mute.
I recognize your voice, Carl.
Yeah, it's all these buttons. That's Carl Johansson. I'm just too ignorant to know how to change that, so I'm just going to leave it. I had two questions for you, Sue. The first one, I think I know the answer, but in the new Zoom, my concern was when you do that, the reports, the activity reports, those are great for what went on during a live lecture. But if somebody views it later, do we capture their use?
Not after the fact, when the meeting has ended, yes.
However, if you record it in Studio, you can put quiz questions in the middle of the video. So anybody who's watching it later would answer those questions and be documented.
Well,
Right?
I can do that, but I've had a couple of bad experiences with Studio, so I'm kind of veering away from that orbit. But there is other ways to do it, and I've done it just by putting up simple attendance quizzes, and if you get 2 out of 3 right, and essentially they don't know when the answers are super simple, but they pop up scattered throughout the lecture, so they, even if they're fast forwarding through, they're going to have to pick out something from there. So there's a way to do it. I was just wondering if there was if there was an update, and I couldn't see how they would be able to do that. Anyway, so that answers that question. And of course, I can't remember what the other one was. But so sorry about that, Sue. Let's move on. I don't want to hijack your.
And Juanita asked about PlayPause. Yeah, that is an overlay also to Studio that has, you can embed quiz questions where students can respond with multimedia. That is really a whiz-bang tool. We still have to overlay it, I think, into Studio, right? I'm looking at you, John. Yeah, you're saying yes. We launched that in February of 2020. It got lost in the shuffle of things where we had to focus on the tools we were using the most. But that PlayPause is a fantastic tool where if you have, especially a discipline where students demonstrate, playing an instrument or speaking foreign language, to record that, any sort of practicum things, your students can answer right there in the video, and then that does auto-populate to the gradebook. So maybe that'll be something, Carl, that will work a little more effectively for what your objective is. We'll have more.
Class is that one that shows you how to do that?
Who shows you how to do that? Is that what the question was, Tina?
Is there a video on how to do that or a class on that?
They have so many useful resources. Quite honestly, it went on the back burner for us. If you attend the next session, you can become familiar with how many tools our little department is trying to support. We are, PlayPause is definitely next in line, that and PopeTech, which is the web crawler for accessibility. So we'll announce those when they come out, Tina. It is a really, really exciting tool. Thank you for bringing it up, Juanita. I appreciate that. So stay tuned on that one.
Can I ask a question? I learned PlayPause through, it wasn't through Fresno City, it was through, I can't even remember the name, but I think it was through the chancellors, or it was some sort of, I can't even remember. I apologize, but it was through the district or something like that. They the ones that had this workshop, and that's how I learned about it. So yeah. I think they have it every once in a while.
Yeah, so we did an hour on it at that Digital Learning Day in February. We had the company give this, hour-long presentation, and it was super intriguing. We were ready to go with it. But of course, that didn't happen. So the folks who are providing that license at no charge to us are the same people who brought us Confer Zoom. So out of Palomar College, they have been providing Zoom and PlayPause. So it could have been in any of those areas, Juanita. But I'm glad that you saw it. It sounds like you were intrigued by it as well.
Yes, I think is there anything called CCC or CCC?
Yes. Yeah,
that's who I learned it from.
Okay, yeah, CCC, that stands for California Community Colleges. It could be, the Tech Center. There's also Accessibility Center. Boy, there's a lot of them. But yeah, you probably did see it through one of them. It could have been at a conference too, like the online teaching conference presented by CCC. You guys have been inundated, huh? Try this, look at this. Yeah, thank you, Juanita. Okay, so as we're running short on time here, I want to show you the virtual hub for students, and then we should have time for more questions at the end. And then, of course, you can come to any of our live sessions. Those are just free and open to ask anything that you're curious about, and anything. And if we can't answer it, we'll certainly get you the information that you need. Okay, so with that, I am, Juanita's trying to lower her hand. Yeah, I don't know how that works. Okay, so let me share this screen with you here. So the virtual hub for students, and I like to make sure you can see it. I have a couple of screens, so don't be too jealous. I know it's just more to manage and more places to get lost. So, so this is the virtual hub for students. And if you notice, both Sue and I were presenting in the student view. And that's something that we encourage you to do as well. Because when you do that, I reset the student. When you do that, you can see what your class looks like from the student's point of view. If they mention something is not available, or they can't see it, or something of that nature, you can click on student view and then go and look at it from their perspective. So we really recommend that, that you use that feature. So I'm sorry.
Sorry, Jody, can I add something really fast that's really helpful with student view?
Yes, please.
If you have images, I've had images that I put in, but the links were actually broken, but I couldn't see it. It looked fine on my end. But once you go to student view, you actually can see if any of those image links are broken.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's where is that at, Sue, where you check for the links? Is that in the settings?
Yes, it's in settings.
Okay, let me show you that real quick here. Okay. Settings, thinking about it. Take your time. There you go. So it's over here.
Validate, yeah.
Yeah, so you can see validate links in the content. This is extremely helpful, especially if you're linking out to other things on the web that may have changed, or your own. If you move something around in your Canvas course, then that link gets broken too. So if you just run that, validate the links in your content, it will also indicate what is broken, that you can fix it right away. So we recommend that you run that as part of preparing for the semester. So that's helpful too. All righty. So as I mentioned, this hub for students is really an outcome of all the feedback that we've received. And it's been nice to work with other departments across the campus. As everybody went virtually online, we had a lot of really well-meaning resources that were developed. And what we ended up doing was trying to be too helpful for our students. And so we found that we had all these different locations, and we expected students to replace their parking hunting pass with a Canvas hunting pass. And that is not what we wanted to do. This is an outcome that has all those tools that I was mentioning condensed into one. I mentioned that the hub is available right here. See this icon, it has changed, but in every single course, a student can click right on there and come to this resource. It also has, in one of your other courses, it will say Virtual Hub for Students in this course navigation. So when you send them and tell them to go there, they're able to find it super easy. So that's something we really made a concerted effort to do. Everything you'll notice in the hubs is designed using pages, not modules. So if your course has a scroll of modules on your homepage or on any page, really. This is what it can look like with pages rather than a long list of modules. We do have a session on module organization and content, and that means not the list of modules, but putting things in a package that is a little more easy to navigate. So our intention here is to have the technology and digital tools really complement your discipline expertise in the design of your course rather than get in the way. We heard from a lot of students here and also Fresno State students, their number one criticism of online classes is that they're all organized differently. So each time they go into a class, they have to figure out the landscape first before they're able to get into the content. So you'll see that we have developed some templates for home pages and weekly modules and things of that nature. If you're ready to go in that direction, we can certainly help you with that. I've been to websites even where I get lost, and then I forget what I was looking for. I'm probably not alone in that. So we don't want students we don't want to tax their cognitive load with searching for things. We'd rather tax that cognitive load with history, math, and science and English, right? That's where we want their brain energy to go. So this here, everyone can access this as well, as I mentioned, because it's in all of your courses. So it's separated out into how to use Canvas, student online readiness, digital tools, and student resources. All of those are listed here with icons, and then we have a quick reference so that when you go deeper into this course, you can always find your way back with just one click. So just to show you a little bit about what is in here, this is the Canvas user guide. As you can see, I know you can read that. These are the most common elements of Canvas that students are asked to use. And when you click on each one of these, it will pop open and you can go through more details about the navigation, for example. We do have outcomes for what students will be able to learn as they go through these modules. We have the return buttons here. You can return to the home page or return to the index for the student guide. So each one of these have a quick reference to go back to, and they're all in pages, as I mentioned. From the home page, clicking on one of these other icons, you have student online readiness. So you have one that students can learn about the tools in Canvas, and then in online readiness, it's the same as we had before as far as topics go, but students can click on here to learn about communication skills in the online classroom, reading strategies for taking notes and things of that nature, making sure that their technology is up and running, of what they need for browser updates, Zoom, any other technical requirements. So they can go through that one as well. This other one, digital tools, we really didn't do a good job of this in our last hub, admittedly. And so when students asked us questions, including the RAM ready students who were like, where do I go to learn how to use Zoom? I think we've kind of made an assumption about students that they know already how to use technology. And that's not true. They struggle with it just like we do. It's one thing to do a Google search or to watch YouTube for pleasure, but to actually use the internet for academic purposes and use the right resources and be able to use a digital tool effectively to complement the content, that really takes a learning curve. So what we have done is we've partnered with the faculty hub over here and the student hub, and each one of them will have user information so that we're addressing both sides of learning and teaching. I don't know why that didn't come to us before, but here we are. Students can use Studio to record themselves if you are asking them for an assignment, a multimedia assignment. This particular resource walks them through how to do that, including using the plugin that's in the rich content editor. There's a walkthrough right now about how to do that step by step. And then we have more instructions here that if a student would like to consume this information in a video or print or some other format, this is what's called universal design. So universal design is giving students a choice of how they can, what's most advantageous for them at any given time to consume the content. I mentioned that if I was a place where it needed to be quiet, then closed captioning helps me. And that's something that is an element of universal design. So we don't do that just to meet compliance standards. We do that because it's good practice for effective learning. In all of our modules and all of our content, you'll see that we've done that. We've created multiple means or multiple streams of how to interact with the content. So, maybe at some time I could listen to it. Other times, not so much. And that has to do with, as I get older too, my eyesight isn't as great. So if I can make the font bigger and stuff, that's a win-win for me too. So we did this digital tool part because we don't want you to have to worry about teaching your students how to use the technology as the primary resource. Of course, it's always helpful for you to show them how to interact with the content. You as the instructor, how you want them to use the tool. But we have this kind of safety net for you to complement what you're doing. And lastly, we have student resources. This is essentially the entire eCampus. I know we're running out of time. This is essentially the entire eCampus, but new and improved. So we worked with every division on campus that's listed here and asked them what would be best to put into their real estate in the hub. And so this is what they gave us. For counseling, if you get questions about how do I make a counseling appointment, we have a walkthrough video right here of how to do it in Canvas. Tutoring, this is what has replaced the FCC Student Success Center. They're going through a little bit of a change too. I think this is really beautiful and fantastic. So what they've done is they've changed it to tutorial services. And so if you are a student and you need tutoring in accounting, for example, then you can go here and find on campus and online tutoring. Each one of these disciplines is going to be broken out that way. And so that students have an easier way to find tutoring in the discipline they need. I got to hand it to our partners around the entire campus for working with us to make this resource such a rich and valuable tool for students. I hope that you find this helpful as well to refer students over to the hub. Now that you know what's in there too, you can have the confidence that what you're sending students over to, that they can get what they need. And I really want to encourage you to make the changes in your courses. If you had links to Quest or student readiness, to remove those. And you really can just use the hub if that's what works for you, and spend your time on your discipline expertise. So I hope that is, I hope it meets our intentions. And if it doesn't, please feel free to post a comment in our hub. And we always respond to feedback, good or bad. That's how we make changes and improvements. So we have a few minutes for questions, I believe. If anybody has them, you can just unmute yourself. Did I tell you all, one second, did I tell you all that if you push the space bar, it's like a walkie-talkie? So if you push the space bar and you want to talk, it's open, and then when you lift off the space bar, it mutes you back. Because I spend a lot of time using my mouse to try and get to the mute or unmute. So if you want to try that, feel free.
Wow.
Any questions?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, I saw you did it, Tina. Go ahead, try it out. Walkie-talkie will be like we're in 6th grade talking to each other.
Yeah, be aware, sometimes it doesn't work. I've had students who know how to do that. And you can see them in the camera punching and it doesn't work. So most of the time it works just fine, but there's instances where for whatever reason, at least on Zoom, it just doesn't work.
We love technology when it works. We curse it when it doesn't. Most of the time, I think it's doing a good job. Anyone else? Questions in the last couple minutes here?
Yeah, I've got a question, Jody. This is Nikki.
Hey, Nikki.
I was DE certified through the old the DEC 101 course. So in looking at the workshops, if I want to kind of go on to the next step, does DEC 101 correspond to like parts 1 and 2, and then I could go into parts 3 and 4? Does DEC 101 kind of encompass all of those?
Yeah, that's a good question, Nikki. So DEC 101 was the first, that started in 2017, 2018. And that was our first run with the online, the OEI course design rubric that the Senate had adopted at that time. And so we started to formulate all of our trainings around that rubric. The rubric has changed somewhat in the area of equity, especially. And so everything that we have is connected to that rubric. And you're right, section 1 is correlates to A, 2 correlates to B, and then 3 and 4 are C and D. Our workshops, though, also, we've been really intentional that the learning outcomes for each of the workshops is connected to that rubric. So we have used that rubric to build everything. And the reason that we've done that is because that rubric is amazingly spot on. It's fueled by evidence-based research and adult learning theory. And it is recognized throughout the state of California. So what you're getting is not just my opinion or my practice or any of the facilitators or your peers, not just their effective practices, which are certainly relevant, but you'll find that it connects to what you need to do or want to do in the classroom. We do have a course redesign. We have a redesigned course coming out that is a condensed version of those 4 parts. And we really think that that will be helpful for faculty who want to redesign their courses in the latest and greatest way using the tools that we have in the new rubric.
So if I've had DEC 101, I've essentially had parts 1 through 4, but it's not necessarily as up to date as what's in the current parts 2, 3, and 4. So if I want like a refresher, I would do parts 2 and then parts 3 and 4, but it would be a refresher. If I would be doing a refresher, in other words. I just want to make sure that I have everything that I need to continue to be considered certified, or if these are like over and above on top of what I was given in 101.
Yeah, so those are really good points to make. You know, everybody has a foundation now, so I'm really glad that I can say that. Teaching is a craft and a skill, right? And we're always perfecting it. We're lifelong learners, and so we're always, adding. And that's the great thing about these workshops is they're not a waste of time. They're not just a flash in the pan. You're guaranteed to walk away with something that you can apply to your classes and certainly build those peer connections. So I know that doesn't answer your question directly, but full certification is required to teach online in the spring.
So DEC 101 if I had Deck 101 and I was considered certified, am I still considered certified? Or do I need to do parts 2, 3, and 4? I guess that's my direct question. I just want to make sure that I have what I need to be considered certified.
I think when
mean,
the redesign course comes out, there'll be some clarification on that. I don't want to answer that right now on recording, but I think I think we'll wait on that, Nikki, if you'll give me that patience. I need more details.
I had a quick
Above my
question.
pay grade.
Excuse me. I had a quick question that I put in the chat in regards to the student hub. With the DE requirements, we had to have those resources listed. So does that, now that it's on the side module, does that replace that, or do we still have to put that into our course?
I wasn't aware about the requirement to put those things in. I know that a lot of people did to make it user friendly for their students. But if you find what you need in the hub, feel free to refer them over. And thank you, Megan. I know we're out of time. You can stay on for a few minutes if you have questions. I'm happy to help answer them, and Sue as well. But the rest of you, I'm going to bid you a great day, and hope to see you in some of our other sessions later. And have a great start to the semester. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.